All right, gamers, this video is going to be completely different. I have to pull up the old one while I'm doing this, right? Because there has been a change in the news. It is fixed. I have the worst timing. Right as I put up the video, there's this Chinese post talking about how it's fixed. Now, this I honestly do not know where it's sourced from. It looks to be sourced from Weibo, which is, overseas chatting platform. I'm gonna go over this, but I'm gonna let the other video play first and then come back because I feel like it was important enough, but I just have the worst timing that they changed it right as I upload it. And so yeah, I'm just gonna hide myself and let this play in the back. I messed it up apparently. I've hit the wrong button. Now I'll do it correctly. Well, surprisingly, Genshin video. Today I'm going to talk about a little bit of Genshin drama. So right now there seems to be a lot of Genshin drama going on and even some review bombing, what I've seen. I don't have a screenshot for that. I've seen images of Genshin being review bombed recently due to the controversy going on with the, characters and their design, right? For those who know, they know. I'm not going to comment on it in this video because I don't really think it's necessary. For example, I'm looking at the Play Store right now, and for me, it's at a 6.3. Camera's probably not going to focus, but you get the idea. Google Play Store, it's regional reviews, so if you see a absurdly low number for whatever reason, it's probably the review bombing for that. There's a lot of people upset about that, but today I want to talk about specifically this Neuvillete issue that is going on. And as you can see in the tweet here, Chinese players are reporting the Neuvillete situation to the government for consumer fraud, right? And then here's a related post. Of course, I cannot translate this, but for those who can read it, login required. Oh, I can't even source that. So you'll have to take the word of, this poster here of HXG Deluke. I believe this is actually a leaker for Manga Star on Genshin. I could be wrong, but anywho, they post here of people reporting Hoyoverse to the Chinese government, the CCP, over changing Neuvillete. And in case you don't know, what they did recently is they actually went back on a change for Neuvillete, because Neuvillete, is a character that you hold down the button and you can spin around with him, right? And he'll charge his attack during you hold the button, shoot out a big laser beam, and then he'll spin, right? Now, what you used to be able to do on PC, and I'll show a clip in a second as a great example of it, and you can see some of the reasons right here on the side. Neuvillete, Genshin, why are they white? Oh, yeah, lots of drama going on. But basically, with Neuvillete, you used to be able to use a charge attack, right? Spin around super fast, and because of how the game functions, right, with tick rate, because every point, I think it was like 0.4 seconds, it would do another tick of damage, right? And, cause damage to the enemy. And basically how the game works, right, is it effectively scans the area that you have the character targeted at, right? It scans it, and then during that tick, it will cause damage, right? But because you could go so fast, it would scan effectively the whole area and deal damage to the whole area. Basically, effectively, right? Giving Neuvillette a massive AoE area because you would spin around super fast, it would scan the whole area, and that 0.4 second tick, right, would happen that whole area, right? So again, you spin around everywhere around him, it does damage, right? And that was in the game since he's come out, right? That's one way to explain it. I'm not explaining it in the best way, but again, that's just giving an example. But it would basically, again, just effectively do damage the whole area you spin around. And they changed that. They nerfed it to where you can't spin anymore. Like just straight up, they like completely capped the spin speed, and so it's effectively nerfing the unit for people on PC and mobile. Now, due to this change, it actually makes him feel different to play on PC and mobile, right? Because you now have a capped speed. So mobile, if you're trying to use your fingers to drag and use his attack, because you have to sort of like tap, right? Uh, you won't be at max speed anymore. You can't do it super fast. And so if you time it right, well, you now just have a worse character than before the patch. On PC, it's a similar thing. Now, the reason console doesn't have this issue is because they already had a cap turning speed in the first place, right? Now, sure, you can turn your sense up all the way, but you still weren't going to have this issue because you just sort of rotate around on 6 with a 360-degree angle. PC and mobile, you don't really have that. On PC, sure, you got your different aim directions, but you still can no longer turn your DPI up to get effectively a bigger AoE, right? And again, mobile, same issue there. And then comment below is a telephone number for free legal advice. And then, of course, you got people complaining about player feedback and them not listening, yet they make this change like 7 months after the character release, so on and so on. There's a lot of backlash and people talking about this overall, and I'm not going to really read the comments. I don't want to keep this video too long here. But here's an example clip of somebody going into their settings, right, for the computer, changing their DPI to as max as possible, and this is dots per inch, right? And what that means is it's how fast the mouse goes across the screen is pretty much what that is, right? But you can see here in the clip, and let me turn on the audio just to, spice it up a little bit. Person is showing that you can spin the camera really fast, right? All that stuff. And while charging, right, you can spin it. However, right, this is how it normally should function. Or, sorry, I misworded this. You can see right here, that's where he shows off, or this player shows off that you can spin, right, without restriction. But as soon as the charge beam goes off, it massively slows down. Because remember, you can already see super fast turning speed, and then it just slows down, right? Slows down massively compared to how fast the screen's moving. Just to give an example, I'm sure there's better examples. Oh, and here's actually a great example here of showing a different character, Navia. You can just do a full-on spin with her, right? And so for this one character, they changed it in post, right? Like 7 months after its release, like even longer than that. It's a bit crazy that they actually went through this change. Now, again, personally, I don't really care. I do think it is a bit cringe to make changes post-release. I'm not gonna lie. Now, Arlecchino also got a change post-release. It was like an update after she came out. It might have been 2 updates, but the point is, after Arlecchino got released, they also nerfed her particle region, and it was specifically on double skill cast. And the reason for that is because you could like recast your skill with C2 and get another proc off, right? And you could already do that with the regular skill, but the main reason for that was, I believe, because they didn't want you like messing up with certain buffs to where you could like infinitely summon or infinitely cast your skill and generate like 500 particles. I don't know. There's reasons behind that nerf, and that's unrelated to this topic. But I just want to know what everybody thinks about this issue. Again, Chinese players are reporting Hoyoverse to the government for this issue, right? And for those who don't know, the Chinese government, is very close tied in with all businesses that they have, right? And you can see there's a ton of posts. Genshin's trending right now. Again, there was just a new update last night, and so there's multiple reasons why it's trending. But like that's just something to sort of point out, right? And another reason is the other drama going on right now. But yeah, I don't really have any thoughts past that. I've already explained the issue there with an example clip. Probably should have pulled up a clip of what he used to work like, but you get the idea if you've played him. So yeah, tell me your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitch, all that stuff. And yeah, this is a interesting issue and change. I honestly was not expecting this from Hoyoverse, and I personally don't like post-release nerfs, especially when it's something ridiculous as this, because I don't really see a reason for it, right? Why change them? That's really it. A lot of people wanting refunds, reporting Hoyoverse. It is what it is, right? But yeah, see ya. Except that's not where we end. Oh, damn, I am a terrible YouTuber. I clicked the wrong button. Except that's not where the story ends, gamers, because there's actually more info. So I do have this machine translation post that you guys saw at the beginning, of course. You've already seen all the other stuff. I don't need to go over this again. Ignore that image in the middle. But there's this machine translated post here. But actually, I was sent this from Reddit over here of them changing it so I don't have to look at the machine translated post. We have an official one from 14 minutes ago. As I said, it's breaking news, and again, happened right as I uploaded the video. Terrible timing. But anyways, let's get into this. So, after the version 4.8 update, we have been paying attention to the feedback regarding the new version, of which includes a fix to the abnormal rotation speed of Neuvillette's charge attack. Again, I'll be real, this was not an issue. But it's crazy how they addressed it, and the thing at the bottom is the most insane thing. I have a screenshot to share with you. That's a really funny. Um, yeah, shout out to Mr. Pokey here, Mr. Choky. But regardless, after reading through all your feedback and comments, we truly understand everyone's concerns. We are sincerely sorry that this fix resulted in an unsatisfactory experience for our travelers, and we realized that no matter what our original intention was, a modification to release characters would hurt the trust and support our players have given us. Thus, we would like to sincerely apologize. Excuse me. I don't know how other people feel about this issue. I love that they're going back on it. They folded in less than 24 hours. It is peak cinema. But outside of that, I really don't know how to feel, honestly. I just think it's funny because of the situation I'm in specifically, uploading the video and then it's changed. Um, that's fantastic. But anyways, I do agree that post-release changes are cringe. Now, granted, this has happened before in the form of a buff, which now that's a whole nother issue, right? There was big drama back then. I think they probably folded due to the reports. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the reason. Um, I understand being mad about it because it was technically a nerf, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a complex issue in terms of like game design wise. Uh, Again, these are corpo words, so always take them with a grain of salt. You gotta take them at their you can't really take them at their word, right? You gotta look at their actions. And this is unusual behavior from Hoyoverse. I'm not gonna lie. They typically don't do stuff like this, especially with this timely of a manner. So they definitely were afraid. It feels like, um, but again, it's really hard to say. And yeah, this I don't know. I really don't know what to say about this first part. Prior to this, the developers have noticed that under extreme circumstances, players could achieve high speed rotations with Neuvillete during his charging attack by adjusting the sensitivity of or mouse DPI settings, which allowed them to inflict 360 damage. However, for travelers using different devices, achieving similar results via such operation provide to be more difficult. Moreover, the screen rotation speed will become extremely fast, resulting in most game elements such as scenery and enemies to become blurry and indistinguishable, which significantly deviates from the usual game experience. Okay, this does not matter at all. What do you mean? Like, this doesn't matter. Like, it's actually ridiculous how little this matters. Nobody cares about how it looks. You're looking at Neuvillete spin around fast. And so this does not make any sense, right? However, this section right here, the 360 damage thing is what I talked about. This wasn't even an issue. I don't care if there's no parity between devices. There's never going to be parity between devices because it's different inputs, right? There's nothing you can do about that. There's nothing that can change that, right? Sometimes PC is just going to have an advantage over console. Sometimes they're just going to have an advantage over phone because you only have so much space to drag here versus full range on the other platforms, so it doesn't really matter. Like you can't do anything about that. So this statement it's BS 100%. Apologies for any background noise. There's a lot going on in my house right now. Anywho, let me finish this. Right, I had to pause more times than I hoped for, but regardless, as I said, the statement is complete bullshit and does not make any sense. All right, that was no concern of anybody. They just want to spin around, do high damage. There's going to be platform differences no matter what you do. Forced platform differences like this are typically bad. The better idea is try to balance the other platforms to match the supposed advantage of the one platform, right? Other games do this a lot. They'll try to balance console players to PC players, right, etc. Right? You should always try to balance up and not down, right? It's not really fun for the player at that point, right? And again, there's more to it, but I just don't. Nobody cares about this last part. The developer's original intention was to ensure Neuvillete charge attack damage output remained consistent under normal gameplay conditions without affecting the experience if Neuvillete charge attack was intended by the travelers. Whereby normal rotation speed or shaking could be achieved with ultra high speed rotations. I don't care what your intent was. There was just no reason to change it. As I stated, it's an obvious thing. There's just going to be platform differences. You can't do anything about that. So like I nerfing it for like two of the platforms because one platform can't have access to it is stupid. All you need to do is give a increased sensitivity to everybody. And then that fixes the issue and allows consoles, right, and mobile to spin if they want to. PC could already do it. So just increase the sensitivity cap or give extra cents for specific like there's other ways to go about this. I don't care what the intent was. There's just no reason to change it, especially like 7 months or more like after release. Crazy. Um, with this premise in mind, developers aim to adjust the rotation speed to a reasonable range to avoid abnormal operations that were specific to certain devices. I'm not gonna lie, it should have either always been like this, or you just don't design the character like this. If I'm being 100%, just don't design him like this, or it should have always been like this. Now they're having to do this charade where they have to make the change and then unmake the change. Like, do you guys not see how ridiculous this is? It either should have been like this from the beginning, or just have not designed him like that. Like, I don't think that's really an extreme take, but you know, it is what it is. Due to the need to consider multiple factors, the actual fixed solution underwent repeated discussions and testing and was finally implemented version 4.8. I don't think it takes 4 or like 5 version updates to really fix this. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and I think that's part of the reason why people are so mad is that it took so long and they didn't talk about it sooner. If they announced it sooner, then like maybe, but I still think people wouldn't have paid attention. And I don't think it would have gotten them out of anything, to be honest with you. But hey, nobody made a fuss whenever Arlecchino got nerfed, so I know, and because hers is very much minor, you don't do it anyways. But yeah, it's kind of weird. There's a big fuss around Zhongli, right? To be fair, so after the fix went live, travelers experienced it firsthand. Players provided comprehensive feedback regarding the fix. Oh, people were mad, bro. Y'all got reported. Y'all got reported, bro. Ain't no getting around it. Ain't no getting around it. And so, yeah. Some travelers mentioned that Neuvillete Changes tech now felt more clunky, and we acknowledge this. It was indeed an oversight on our part. As I said, it's like just shouldn't have done it, right? At the end of the day. Therefore, after gathering compiling feedback suggestions from various channels, we've decided to roll back this fix and subsequent update and issue compensation to players. One multi to travelers accordingly. Please stay tuned for further notices regarding specific update schedule and issue of compensation. We once again sincerely apologize to all our travelers. We thank you for your support, company, and it's because of you all Genshin Impact has come this far. This is so shallow, bro, and like hollow. Like this is meaningless, bro. It's like, oh yeah, it's just it's the void. It's like, guys, we really care so much about you. We love our players. Here's a multi because we messed up. Have fun. Like, bro, it is a nothing burger. In future updates, we'll exercise greater caution in decisions related to content that's been released to provide the best possible experience for travelers. Yeah, as I've already said, tell me what you guys think down below. Right, I think this is crazy. I'm surprised Hoyoverse um did this. I'm gonna make a new thumbnail right now. Can you guess what it's gonna be? Can you guess what it's gonna be? Devs, listen. This is a crazy situation. Um, yeah, are you happy about the compensation? Are you not? Uh, what do you think? Talk about it down below, all that stuff. Like, subscribe. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.